can't chase no ghost.
Shannon, do you ever just get a feeling?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I do. Did I take a shower?
I don't know what just happened.
All right now. All right.
I appreciate you.
All right.
Let's get the next one.
All right. All right, bro. I'm letting you off the hook. There you go. There you go,
Okay,
Cam.
we have Keith Taylor.
What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and I want to talk about this Shannon Sharpe situation at ESPN, and it's not really to belittle him or anything like that, but I want to go back over what has happened over the last 12 months. We know Shannon Sharpe had a handshake agreement with ESPN about redoing his contract. They were supposed to give him his own NFL type of show, but when that first IG Live came out, that kind of threw a monkey wrench in some of that, but they did ultimately allow him back. And then we know how this case has gone. They've ultimately let him go. But Shannon was in a position at that time after the Cat Williams interview, nightcap blowing up the way it was. He was supposed to sign a deal, probably very close to Stephen A. Smith's. He was at a place where he could just name his price pretty much. And they have to make it worth his while because he has a platform that can take viewership from their platform, similar to Pat McAfee, right? And so they want to make sure he's associated with that network as well, so they can bring in some of his audience, through the week. Well, there were rumors, and we're going to look back over this. There were rumors that he and Stephen A. weren't the most pleasant guys to work with behind the scenes. Let's look back at that. So this report coming out from the U.S. Sun, it says workers are reportedly fed up with the behavior and attitude of the duo, which is creating a huge gap in tensions inside the show. Smith and Sharpe are seemingly doing their own thing and behaving in a way that has created a lot of tension. And this is what a journalist at First Take had to say. It's been very tense, and the behavior of both Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe isn't helping to get a better working dynamic. That is for sure. A lot of people are fed up of their behavior and the way they lead with things, from deciding on the topics for the show to behaving like they know everything and can accept others' opinions and critiques on things outside of their views. Many times people try to voice and say what they think about some topics, and both always try to show that they are right, that their opinions are the most important, like a stubborn uncle that everyone has, that that despite saying something, he is always going to push other people to show that his opinion is the best, that he knows everything, and that only his opinion matters. And the employee continued on. They said, that is very, very frustrating. That is for sure. For them, I always say it's always me, myself, and I against others. Pretty much, they are always agreeing on everything and are opposed or showing others that their opinion or view are the best ones. I'm going to skip some of it, but they continued on. They said they are always telling people you should do this, you should do that, and being very annoying on speaking and wanting to get involved on every topic and matter. As a joke with other colleagues, we even thought a few weeks ago that if one day they decide to make shirts or hoodies where it's written Stephen and Shannon versus the world, they would make tons of money, and it would be reflecting what they are doing on that show. That is very frustrating, and people are fed up with that us against the world attitude. That is for sure. It says a lot of people are fed up of it and are considering what to do next, even moving away from the show. And while you have that dynamic at play, we seen Shannon Sharpe call out some of his co-workers. Now, not saying that they were innocent. I remember Kurt Herbstreit made a statement about something Nightcap said in regards to Ohio State before the college football playoff, and Shannon Sharpe shot back, but he did. This is just an example of the co-workers not really feeling them. And we also remember him and Stephen A. versus the women on the panel during that whole WNBA debate. Let's look back at that.
Stephen, I'm going to let it slide. I'm going to be a good teammate. I'm going to let it slide. Everybody's at ESPN, because had you not taken the route you taken, I would have lit their ass up. But I'm going to let it slide. You know what, guys? Congratulations, Ohio State. You won the game. But, hey, if we're going to be on the same team, if we're going to work for the same network, don't do that. Kurt, Chris Fowler, I promise you, If you ever mention anything, any platform that I'm on again and talking about, I wonder what they're going to say in negativity, I promise you, ESPN ain't got enough bosses to keep me off y'all for what I'm going to say. So I'm going to let y'all slide today. I'm going to turn it over to D.O. before I get myself in trouble. But don't play with me. Go ahead, D.O.
Damn.
Hey, I got to ask y'all a question. Y'all still think she the great white hype? There's a lot of women that was on ESPN that had a lot to say earlier about this. They gone quiet now.
You say they quiet?
Y'all quiet now. Now, I want somebody to send that to you because you know who I'm talking about. I ain't going to call your name, but you know who you are. Y'all had a lot to say early. Y'all had a lot to say early. And if you think I'm talking to you, I am. Make no mistake about it. I'm talking to you. You know who you are.
No one denied the fact that she's a star and she couldn't play. It was just that it takes.
Y'all were denying it, Molly. Don't do that.
And
don't do that, Molly.
Shannon, what are you saying? People didn't think that Caitlin Clark was talented?
What I'm saying is that a lot of you came up here, and because Caitlin Clark was getting shine, you guys were saying, don't give Caitlin Clark shine because there were women that was before her that don't get shine. So no, I'm not gonna let you do it. Stephen A. might,
there were a
but
lot
I'm not
of people
gonna let
that
you do
laid the groundwork that deserve shine as well. Here's what we're gonna do.
Are they playing now?
What's my reason for showing those clips? First to address Shannon Sharpe telling the bosses, it's not enough of them to keep him off of Herb Street. Not so much about Kurt as it is Shannon showing the power and the leverage he has. And you better believe every time you make a statement like that, the people upstairs turn red. They don't like to hear that. They want Shannon there to entertain and do all that. And Shannon shot his own self in the foot. See, Shannon had the power somewhat to get away with a little bit more than the other talent. We seen when he had the IG Live in the act, he was able to come back and Paul Pierce was just getting a massage, on his day off, and they let him go. So it showed you that they saw him as a commodity and an asset who could get away with a little bit more in the entertainment world, but he had to reel it back in a little bit. We saw ultimately he was shaken down for $23 million. He lost nearly whatever it would have been. It would have been north of 100 million or right at 100 million with ESPN. And so we can comfortably say Shannon Sharpe has lost over $125 million, and that doesn't include the sponsorships, that he had. Now, we don't know if some of those are still on pause. We know some of them are gone, but we don't know if he'll get some of them back or he'll start to slowly get some sponsorships back because the show is still successful on YouTube. But I want to show that as well because there was rumors that he and Stephen A. wasn't liked. Although Stephen A. was in an executive position, Stephen A. doesn't put himself in compromising positions outside the workplace. Other than that lady who claimed to be Mrs. Stephen A. Smith, we don't really see anything about his personal life. Now he might get into it with LeBron or something like that at the game where he gets approached or something like that, but Stephen A. doesn't do anything that could jeopardize his job. Not since he made that Ray Rice statement back, I believe that was like 2012 or 2013. I can't remember when that was. That was the last time I remember him getting suspended over something he said, that was controversial in that way. And Stephen A. knows how to play the game at this point and has also built his own platform. But Shannon, for you to rub some people the wrong way, I want to show the Kurt Herb Street clip and also the Molly clip at the beginning, and him calling out those women on Nightcap from ESPN because you've rubbed people the wrong way, and they took that factor into consideration as well when looking at what to do with Stephen A. for the long. Looking to do with Shannon Sharpe for the long term. A lot of the people, was happy Shannon Sharpe was going through this because of how brash he had become, The support he had received when leaving FS1, I've never seen anything like this flip upside down so fast. But a lot of it, has come from words that Shannon Sharpe has expressed on his own, that has made some of the support remove itself from him, man. So, hopefully, I'll, with me, I always hope people learn a lesson. It's never too late while you still here to learn a lesson. And, sometimes maybe you needed to lose that type of bag to reflect, to navigate through the world more properly. Shannon Sharpe needs to find a woman, about 60 years old. Looking at these young girls, dating your wage, I thought that was kind of lame of him to say that. You need somebody with stability. Y'all need to be able to talk about the same things. You need to be within the same age range, man. And I'm just gonna sit back and see how this all plays out, especially with the sponsors and everything. But I'll say this: he's been let go from several networks. There's nowhere for him to go. Was it CBS, FS1, and now ESPN? He's not coming back to TV. So Shannon has to figure it out, and that's cool nowadays, because you can pump your content through different social media avenues. But man, to think about all those bridges being burned, I mean, there's nowhere else on Viacom for you to go to, brother. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about. Don't forget, let me know what you guys think about this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.